The scale and the sheer number of people it carries every day.
With over 2 million riders per weekday across the 5 boroughs, our system has the highest ridership of any city in the United States.
But while New York keeps growing and changing, the bus system has barely moved. Many of the bus routes we have today are decades old, some of them dating back to the trolley lines that were replaced long ago.
The bus system we have today was designed for a very different city, one that had fewer people and different kinds of work, living, and recreation opportunities. New York's buses are the slowest in the nation,
Averaging less than 7.5 miles per hour.
As a result, bus ridership is declining.
because people are choosing to take other modes.
We know our bus system today isn't what it should be.
It's not what a world-class city like New York deserves.
And it's not fair to the millions of New Yorkers who are in areas where buses are the only public transportation option.
We've got to fix this problem.
It's time to imagine an entirely new network that makes sense for the New York of today and the New York of tomorrow.
There are many things we want to accomplish that are only achievable through a complete redesign of the bus network.
We're going to make New York's buses better by focusing on 2 areas.
First, we're going to redesign routes so that they are frequent and more reliable for the majority of our bus customers.
Second, we're going to work with our partners at the New York City Department of Transportation to find more ways to prioritize buses, such as providing dedicated lanes, traffic signal priority, and other physical improvements to keep our buses moving.
In redesigning the bus network, we are focusing on 3 concepts.
Simplicity, connectivity, and improving bus stop spacing.
The goal of all this is simple: a faster and more reliable bus network.
Number 1, simplicity. We're working to make our new network simpler and easier to use. Bus routes should be direct and easy to understand.
Number 2, connectivity. Buses are faster and more reliable when they run in straight lines with as few turns as possible.
But many of our bus routes don't do this. Running a grid of connecting bus lines would better integrate the system as a whole and expand access.
But fewer people would have a one-seat ride to their destination.
Somewhere in between is an integrated system that works well and gives a lot of people access to where they want to go.
3, bus stop spacing. New York City has the shortest distances between bus stops of any major city. That's a big reason why we have the slowest buses. So to speed them up, we're looking at right-sizing the distance between bus stops.
Is it worth it to walk a little farther for a bus stop if the bus that arrives will be much faster and more reliable? That's something we'll look at in every borough.
To build a new network that works best for the city will take a lot of work.
Over the next 3 years, we'll be working with you, the people that use our system every day, to redesign the bus network borough by borough.
This kind of approach is completely new to New York City, so we need you.
Your help,
Your input.
Your knowledge of the details of your everyday life on the buses and trains.
There will be ongoing opportunities to contribute at open houses and workshops in your community, at community board meetings, and through various social media outlets. To get connected and share your perspective, visit our website and come meet us at our events. And thank you for riding with us.
And you did. You came and met us at our event, so thank you. Give me a second to transition here. Read that. All right, so welcome. My name is Dave Moss. I am a planner with the Queens Bus Network Redesign. Does everybody know who Andy Byford is? He's the new president of New York City Transit. Came in last year. Came in flying fast with a program that he came up with called Fast Forward, and it's got 4 main parts to it. Transform the subway, that's replacing the signals and switches faster than they'd ever planned before so the trains can move faster. Reimagine the bus network, that's why we're here tonight. Accelerate accessibility, that's about putting elevators in subway stations at a faster rate than anyone had ever planned before. And engage and empower employees to change the agency from the inside to make it more customer focused. So those are the 4 pieces of his plan, and obviously we're here for Bus Network Redesign. What is Bus Network Redesign? We're taking a holistic, blank slate approach to our bus network. We're looking at every SBS, every local, every express, every limited bus, everything, every bus stop, all of it. At least all MTA buses. We're not redoing the nice buses. we're looking at these, and we're also looking at things that we're not doing. So that's the things we are doing. What are we not doing? For instance, we hear it takes me 3 buses to get to the community college. It takes me 2 buses to get to a hospital. I work at the airport, and you guys don't serve the airport very well, and that's because the airport jobs have grown a lot since this bus network was put in place decades before. We also have data now on where our buses are at every minute of every day. We didn't have that 5 years ago. So now we have new data that we can look at that we just didn't have in the past. So we're looking at those things, and the question comes up, well, why do you need to do it? We have been doing tweaks. So we created the Q70 bus a few years ago, and then we turned it into SBS, and a lot of people love that, and it gets them to LaGuardia really fast. But some people don't like what we did to the Q33. So, you change one thing, it changes something else, it, makes these people unhappy. And then other things, people are like, well, why don't you just extend the Q64 over here? The longer you keep extending bus routes, the more they get stuck in traffic, the more they bunch. You can ask the bus operators sitting behind you. So then we're looking at all those things. We're also looking at things like off-peak service. We hear, look, my job ends at 10 o'clock, your bus stopped running at 9:45, I need your bus to go later. Or, your bus is nice, but where is it on the weekends? Interborough travel to get to Brooklyn, you might as well go through Manhattan on the subway, because even though this is the same landmass, Brooklyn and Queens aren't very well connected. And then even within Queens itself, to get from Southwest Queens to Southeast Queens, you have to go through Jamaica if you're going on a bus. You don't have that old Wyndham Boulevard route. So this is what you got right now. Here we are out in Eastern Queens. One of the guys at the first open house we had in the Rockaways come up to me and said, show me your plan. I just want to see your plan. And I was like, well, hang on a second. So this is our plan right now. We literally are wiping the slate clean. We're looking at all the streets. One guy came up to us in Laurelton and he was like, don't put a bus on the street. We've got speed bumps there, and we've got them there for a purpose. We don't want your bus there. Well, we're looking at it anyway, but we are aware of what it would take to put a bus on that route. But we're looking at places that we don't run right now, and some of the streets that have buses on them right now won't have them on them in the future. We're looking at everything. So how do we do it? Number one is we're working with our partners at DOT. There's a board over there with 2 guys from DOT. We're working with them every week. Every day. We're working on things like transit signal priority. So if the bus is running late and the light is about to turn red, the traffic signal knows it, and it may hold that light green for a little while longer, let the bus through, and then turn the light red. They're rolling that out. It takes them a little time to roll it out because they have to do traffic studies to make sure that what they do there doesn't adversely affect the rest of the traffic. So it takes a little while, but they've sped that up because the mayor committed to a 25% increase in bus speeds over a 2-year period. And to do that, you've got to do stuff like that, and then also bus lanes, rolling out new bus lanes, enforcing the bus lanes better. So those are some of the things that DOT is working with us on. We're also looking at that bus bunching and reliability data. Are there places where our buses keep getting caught up in traffic? Are there places that are choke points that all our buses get stuck in the same location? So we're looking at all that data. But, and here's the big but, we do have some competing interests that we're trying to balance. For instance, ridership. If you want a high ridership system, you run only in the most dense places as fast as possible, and you stop as seldomly as possible, and you just go, go, go. That will get you a lot of ridership, but it won't serve everyone. Whereas for a coverage network, now you're covering everyone, and everybody gets some service, but you're going to be thinned out, and the bus is not going to come around nearly as often as you might like it to. But somewhere in between is a system that tries to do both, and some areas are going to be more suited to one kind of service, and some areas are going to be more suited to the other. Similarly with bus stops. Some people want that bus stop on their block. They don't want to have to travel very far to get to it. And then somebody else wants that person not to have that bus stop because they want to be able to fly faster to wherever they're going, Jamaica or whatever it is, and they're having to slow down and pick you up. They don't want to do that. They just want to go. So we got to balance those things.
Is this covering all of Queens depots, or is this covering one specific depot in?
All of the borough of Queens.
All of the borough of Queens.
So even buses that enter Queens that come out of Brooklyn depots, we're still looking at, even though Brooklyn's next. I'll get to that. I'm going to restart the presentation. You missed the video. For anybody that's missed the first part, I'm going to redo this again in a little while. So also with a one-seat ride, some people like to get on the bus, they they get a seat, they're riding along to wherever they're going. But if we change the bus network and we try to make some of those connections, they might actually be forced to get out and get onto another bus, and then that bus is already full, and now they're standing, and they don't like that. So we've got to balance those things, see how they are, and then also similarly with the circuitous routes, some people have actually a really odd one-shot seat right to their doctor's office, and it works for them now, but it doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. And so if we try to build a system that works better for the overall citizens of Queens, maybe that person no longer has that direct shot to their doctor's office. So some people might not be happy with the changes we make. That's what we've got to look at. We've got to balance where are the appropriate places to run. Now, how are we going to do all this? This is the time frame here. So we kicked off in April. We went to your elected officials. We said, hey, we're doing this. Staten Island Express Bus was last year. The Bronx bus network redesign is ongoing right now. They just released their draft plan for the Bronx last Friday, a week and a half ago. We have started. We've done these 9 open houses. We went to community boards. We've got 4 civic associations this week and next week, so we're still going out. Meanwhile, we're working on the existing conditions. That's the bus bunching statistics and the ridership statistics and all that data stuff, so that we can come out with a report in August, and it's going to say, here's what we've learned so far about the borough and how people use transit in this borough, and here's what we heard from you at your open houses. Are we on the right track? So that gets to the question of, are we on the right track? Because what we have right now is a survey over there on some iPads. If you don't have time to take it tonight, or if the iPads are all busy, you can take it online. And so we've got one survey for this portion, and once we come out with that existing conditions report, we're going to have a new survey for you. Are we on the right track? Once we get to these later portions, there's going to be another survey. So after that, we come out with the draft plan in November. So when that guy in the Rockaway said, show me your plan, show me your plan, that's when I'm going to show him the plan in November. We will come out to you with another survey. We're going to come out to you with workshops. So instead of this, where we have the open house format, we're going to have on a table a map of the new network proposed. You're going to put dots on it. You're going to put X's. You're going to say, I don't like what you did here. Give me my bus back here. You're going to get to draw it up, rip it up, look at it. So we're going to evaluate it with you sitting down at tables throughout the borough, back to community boards, back to civic associations, again, that other survey online. And then we're going to work to the final plan in April. So April 2020, a year after we started, that's the final plan, at which point then we come back out for community board meetings, civic associations, another survey, another set of open houses, and at that point then we're going to figure out implementation. We don't have an implementation date yet. So like I said, we're doing Queens right now. Brooklyn is going to start in the fall. So all of Brooklyn will be under review starting in the fall. And as we get through this plan, and as Brooklyn started, we're going to look at it and we're going to say, how should we implement this? One idea is we just do all of Queens, and then we do all of Brooklyn separate from that. Another idea is we do the part of Queens that's away from Brooklyn, and then we do the middle Brooklyn-Queens area, and then we do the rest of Brooklyn. We don't know. It's up in the air. We have not decided that. We don't have an implementation date. So that's where we are in this schedule. But like I said, the most important thing we need from you throughout this process, again and again and again, is your input on those surveys. The survey itself right now is up here at queensbusredesign.metroquest.com. If you don't want to take it right now, you can go home and take it. As of this morning when I looked at it, we had 924 survey responses. So we're also still going to have that open until we get to that existing conditions report in August, and then we're going to have a different new survey out for you.
So will this survey be available on that site until the existing conditions report?
Yes.
Okay.
We might close it at the beginning of August, a couple weeks before, just so we have time to evaluate it, but let's say late July, early August.
Okay.
And then forever, for the entire course of this project, until the entire thing's been implemented, this will be the website that's your one-stop shop for everything. new.mta.info/QueensBusRedesign. That's where you'll have these meetings. If you're like, hey, I've forgotten, I haven't gone to one of those meetings in a while, when's the next one? The meetings will always be listed on that website. Any presentations we've done, starting probably next week, there will be some version of this presentation online. That video that you saw at the beginning, that's already on the main website, not at Queens Bus Redesign, but at new.mta.info/busredesign. But all that blue calendar you just saw, it's all going to be there. So if you have any questions, you wonder where we are in the process, you want to take a survey, you say, hey, buddy, I took this survey, I can't remember it, just Google Queens Bus Redesign, and that's going to come up, and then it'll take you to the survey. So that's what we're going to ask you to do throughout. Like we said, we keep needing your information. Just in the last presentation, a woman came up to me, she was like, look, this section of Braddock Road, this is 1 mile of Braddock Road, that we need a bus. Please do not take my bus away. I mean, you can tell me that, I'm not gonna remember that, I need you to put it in the survey. So that's how we, as a group, will all evaluate it, we'll all be able to see it and read it, and go through it and filter your comments. So, like I said, that's where we are. Please go talk to our planners, and please fill out the survey. Thank you. For those of you that came in late, I'll start another presentation about 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.